Hey there, YouTubers. JabeerIni here, and I don't know if that happens to you or not. Presumably it does happen to you, that you try so many different hops for different recipes and you're trying to be precise on the amounts to be used, but at least in the majority of the stores they only sell you specific amounts of hops, being 100 grams or 250 grams, or in ounces in the States. And then since you only use a fraction of those, then you end up with a freezer full of tiny little bags of hops. And that's my case. And the expiry date is getting closer and closer for some of them. So I just decided to create a recipe called Leftover IPA, in which I will use all of those hops combined together. So right from the start, it's not sounding like this is gonna be the recipe of the year and it's gonna be super tasty and super good. It might very well end up being unbalanced on the hop side, but hey, got nothing to lose. I just wanted to give it a go and see what happens when you mix so many different hops. I know, because there is a number of IPAs that brag about the amount of different varieties of hops they use, like 32 hops and stuff, and when you try them, they're not that good. So and you can not really tell 32 different hops in each sip you have. So there is a predominance, obviously, and then it just ends up being a regular IPA. So I'm brewing this under the conviction that the worst case scenario will be a normal beer, something that I can drink, and I'm happy with that. Also, this is the first time I'm gonna be showing you how the conical fermenter works in terms of the cooling kit. I got the Grainfather conical fermenter, and as you might know, it comes with a system that allows you to heat up the wort in winter, and more interesting in my case, it cools down the wort to specific temperatures with a system that, well, it involves a pump and stuff. I'll show you. So the two cool things for today are the experimental Leftover IPA, and also you'll see the functioning of the cooling kit for the Grainfather conical fermenter. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's get brewing! And here we are in the kitchen. As you can see, the ACE is ready. We're almost arriving the strike temperature, and I wanted to show you a bit of the idea. The thing is that I had a lot of bits of grains and all that, and I wanted to make a beer and at the same time restock and organize the shelves. So this is the thing. As for the grains, which are already in here, they are the following, but as always you can see the recipe in the comment section below. So 2 kilos 300 grams of pale malt, 500 grams of each Munich and Pilsner, 210 grams of rolled oats, 280 grams of Cara Ruby or Cara Red, 150 grams each of Cara Pils and Cara Malt. But this recipe is not only a leftover session IPA because of the grains, but also because of the hops. I really wanted to, these are close to the expiry date, so I'm going to be using a lot of them. These ones are for the boil, so it's 25 grams of Bravo at 60 minutes, 45 grams of Athanum at 5 minutes, along with 15 grams of Horizon. And then for the flame out, it's 28 grams of Semco. Now you can hear the rain. It's a rainy day. Rainy sort of evening, actually. And then, well, that's only for the boil. Then we're going to dry hop it heavily with Amarillo, Centennial, and Horizon as well. I might as well drop in some Cascade. I haven't measured what I've got left, but it will be published in the comments section below. Okay, so we have achieved our strike temp of 50 degrees. Here inside the mashing tun, so to call it, I've got 15 liters of water. So the proportion grain to water is more or less 3.5, which in my experience works very good, especially in this system. As for the mash schedule, quite simple, straightforward. 50 degrees for 10 minutes, then 66 degrees for 60 minutes, and then 77 for 10 minutes. That's the step mash we're going to be using, after which there will be a standard 60-minute boil. Well, you have seen me do this a number of times now, so you know how it goes. So I guess I'll be back at the start of the boil for the first hop addition. I'll see you then. Okay, start of the boil, and I don't know if you can see very well there, but we got 22.5 liters pre-boil, just right after the sparge, and it's time to add 25 grams of brow. And in they go. There's going to be a lot of hops, but the hop schedule is quite simple, so basically I won't do anything until 15 minutes for the Protoflock addition, and then 5 minutes and flame out. I'll be back then. And here we are, 15 minutes before the end of the boil, and it's time for the Protoflock addition. That's half a tablet, so we haven't lost too much in the boil. Whoops. I think it's more or less a liter that we have lost. Probably a liter and a half. Not 2 liters, that's for sure. So I'll be back 5 minutes before the end of the boil for the penultimate hop addition. Okay, 5 minutes before the end of the boil, and look at this. This is 45 grams of Athanum, 15 grams of Horizon. Look at this. And in they go. That was a huge amount of hops going in there, and it smells lovely. So there's only one hop addition left, and I'll be back then. Okay, 0 minutes. The boiler has just turned off, and in they go 28 grams of Simcoe. This leftover beer is gonna be great, at least from the hop side. So I'll just stir this a little. There's a lot of hops in here. Look, it's even difficult for the water to circulate. I'm gonna cool down this wort and then transfer it to the Grainfather conical fermenter for its maiden voyage. So I guess I'll be back then. Cheers and beers. And here is the thing. Here's the wort already in. Well, let me give you a better look. There it is. There it is. It's aerated, and that thing you're hearing is the cooling pump kit, which is here. Now, I could come in details and explain how the thing works, but there's just a lot of tutorials already available online that I don't know if it will be a contribution, so to speak. So basically, this is a cooler. As you can see, I drilled 2 holes, one for the hot outlet and one for the cool. It has a pump inside, which is working now. And now basically what you do is you add some of these gigantic ice cubes that I made on the fridge, and you just have to keep an eye on them and make sure that it's always there's always enough of them. and then when they melt, you take off the equivalent in water and just drop a new one in. So I've tested the efficiency, and it goes down really quick. You know, you see the target is 20, we are at 25.1, and it just drops really quick. In less than an hour, I guess we'll be at 20. But well, it depends, because when I tested it, it was with water, and this is wort, so the density is different. Probably we're gonna get a different result. So now let's wrap this up, pitching the yeast, and as you can see, it's M42, which I love. And here we are. Quick update. Now, just by pitching the yeast and closing the lid, the temperature came down from 25.2 or 1, if I'm not wrong, to 23.2. So in less than probably 2 minutes, we got 2 degrees down. As I told you, it's really efficient, and I'm very happy with it. Well, there you saw it. That was the brewing day and functioning of the cooling kit. Pretty efficient, I may say. It's amazing how these guys developed such an efficient system. It works, you know, super well, very precise. The energy consumption is minimal, because it's a very, as you can see, it's a very tiny pump that works there. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. The only thing that, well, you need to work a lot in changing ice every 5 hours or so. So even that, you know, even if you gotta work a little bit, 5 times, more or less 5 times a day to keep the temperature on a specific target, it is still very efficient. So that's it for today. If you like what you see, like, and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Cheers and beers.